You're now listening to the Zod and Drea podcast.
Got a good show for you today.
It's an excellent show.
We have a guest here, man. This is our girl. I mean, she's about to just add a little bit to what we want to talk about, and it's a good one.
Not only a friend and a confidant, amazing woman, professional, and my homie.
Yeah, definitely homie status. You know what? We're gonna have to give 3 cheers for her. We got Zully coming in, and she's here to pretty much give her opinion on the topic of today, which is, what is a reasonable time to get married after first dating? I mean, think about that question. Like, damn.
Gentlemen, think about that question, because of course we had lots of responses from the female side. But
oh yeah. Yeah, it's true. Brothers got to, you know, you got to add in a little bit more than what you've been doing. But we want to know what your opinions on our topics are, especially something like that when it comes to marriage, because we know we like to chill and try and play that player part, but it only goes as far as it can, and I know we all have opinions about it. So
I mean, it takes two, right?
It definitely takes two. So, you know, stop trying to play all that cool shit and just, you know, come with it and come on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages, and, you know, give your input so that we can you know, get a little read on you as well. So male, female, come on, unite, talk about that. But we got Zully, and she's about to really lay it down for us. But, you know, we were sitting there talking, and we got a lot of things on the news that we've been seeing, and it's kind of crazy. And we're probably going to wind up even throwing that in a little bit.
Yeah, we have to. I mean, it's our world. It's what's going on right now. And it just has to be addressed. We can talk about it. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah,
so, you know, we're going to get into that soon. As far as the marriage topic, Zully's going to hold it down for us, and she's going to throw in her 2 cents. And remember, if you're anybody who's around our area and, you know, you've got ideas, you got to throw it at us. Throw it at us on our social media, and you just may be in here with us, Zod and Drea, talking about these same topics. And, you know, we would love to get you in here on the podcast and get your opinion, because everybody's 2 cents is worth something, you know?
More than 2 cents.
Exactly. So, you know, let's start off by just getting into what we've been seeing on TV, which is just some craziness.
Not only TV, it's on every media outlet.
Yeah, for no reason.
Right now. And we're just going to talk about a lot of the racial conversation that has been started with this political run going on right now.
Yeah, especially the Trump people.
It's ridiculous. I just wonder why aren't people responsible for what they put out there? Be responsible for the words you say and stop backpedaling. I haven't met so many grown people and seen it on television that say one thing and then the next day they are acting like a 5-year-old just got caught with a hand in the cookie jar. Like, what? No, wasn't me. Sorry. No, I don't know what you're talking about. No, you misscrewed my words. You are the one that misinterpreted it, America.
But let's go deeper into it. I mean, we're talking about a man running for president who keeps on switching everything back and forth, and he's got these pundits out here supporting him. And no matter what position he takes on which side, they stand up for it and try to justify what it is, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous to see somebody playing ping pong with himself so much where you go back and forth watching him hit, and you're like, you know what? He's telling the truth, and he's only talking about one thing. It's like, no, he's playing both sides of the table. And one of the things that he's doing now is he's talking about, I don't know if you've seen it in the news, but he's been discussing black issues in front of a white crowd, like the whitest crowd, and he's saying that he's aiming it towards us. But the audience that he's aiming it to is the white audience. Like, how do you speak about black people to white people, but say that you're saying it for black people? It's like this is how division in a country is made and sustained, especially when you have the supporters and believers behind him who are sitting there cheering and justifying it. If you cannot tell black people in their faces what you think you can do or think about them, then please just get off the stage and don't talk about us at all. It's like, I mean, the same thing with the Latinos. Like, you're going to sit there and you're going to say you're going to build a wall, you're going to throw them over the fence, you're going to be doing all this, Mexico's going to pay for it. You're going to do all these things that are going to cost billions of dollars, and it's not going to happen because it's impossible. It just can't do it in this country. You can't do it. And you're going to address these Latinos as if you're in their world? You're going to address these black people as if you're in this world? And then you're going to try to justify it? By what? Talking about crime stats? This shit just gets me pissed off.
How it's like Trump in multiple media outlets have called Mexicans rapists, have called Mexicans criminals. Mexicans.
Yeah, they don't send their best.
And yet, fast forward, 6 months later, and he's eating a taco bowl at Trump Tower saying, I love Hispanics and Hispanics love me.
Yeah.
Get over yourself. You wouldn't have your hotels. You wouldn't have all of your businesses if it wasn't on the backs of Latinos that have killed themselves to make something of themselves and their families here. So shut your mouth.
If it wasn't on the backs of not just Latinos, but we're talking foreigners of all. Like, he only marries foreigners. He only has foreigners designing everything in his business, from ties to suits to like his sheets. Like, everything is manufactured outside of the United States, but he's going to bring the jobs back. What are you talking about? You're the one who was sending them out, and these people are sitting there eating that shit up. It doesn't make sense to me. Don't sit there and try to face me saying that you believe in one section of the United States, but you're going to dictate the other section of the United States as if you're the only section that has the answers for the entire country. You're the only one? Like, you're the one's going to dictate to me what's best for me? You're going to tell me what's best for me. That doesn't even sound like any sense to me. I don't go around into women's centers and tell them, you know what, I'm a man with a dick, and I know what's best for you women. I know what's best for you. That's what he sounds like.
Well, and that has been going on a lot of women's health.
Actually, it does. I mean, bra makers and a lot of fashion designers,
a lot of contraception was created by men.
But God, until women got into it, then it became right. Like, you think that people would right their wrongs and learn from their mistakes.
You would think so. And don't tell me that I have nothing else to lose.
Nothing to lose by voting for Donald Trump? I have everything to lose by voting for Donald Trump. Everything. Everything
that we stand for as human beings, caring adults in this world.
Yeah. So, you know what? I just had to get that off of my chest real quick because I can't believe anyone's voting for this asshole. But anyway, let's just move on before I erupt.
You?
Man, turn from Zod to Zodiac real quick.
I'm stirring in my, in just.
Man, and don't even talk about the bootlicking coons who were sitting there and bootlicking and, oh man. And I know you got them too, but,
Yeah, we got 20%.
Yeah, at least we only have 1 or 2% voting for that moron. You guys got like 20-something%.
Yeah, and that's a whole other podcast.
Come on, Latinos, for real? Real? Like, he's talking about you and your uncles and your families, and you're like, oh, I'll vote for him, you whitewashed. Anyway, you know what? Let's talk about something a little happier. Let's talk about something, Got a friend who posted up a little something I think is really good. I think we should try and tackle it really quick so that, we're not just heated up before Zully comes on. So we wanted to ask you, can you be a true friend and not be 100% honest? Someone posted that to us, and it's a really good question. I mean, you can post questions, too, on the Zod and Drea podcast anywhere you want. And some of the results that we got in were actually interesting from that answer. It's like, can you be a true friend and not be 100% honest?
Well, I have to then ask the question, what's that person's view of a true friend?
Yeah.
What is a true friend in your opinion, in that person's opinion, in that friendship? Is it you just candy coat everything? Or is it, I'm going to call you out when I see you doing something that isn't right or is hurting you? Or you're just acting stupid and I'm going to say something about it. I know I keep a close group for myself. And again, this may not be for what everybody else chooses, but I keep a close group of people around me that I demand that. I demand that you keep me accountable of what I say I'm going to be in this world. And if I'm acting a mess and a fool, tell me. And it's okay. It's safe to say that. You're in a safe place to say that with me and not make it mean anything, you know?
But it may not mean anything. Like, my whole thing is, like, the true friends to me are the ones who stick around no matter what. They're the ones who I can call on, and we can just have a laugh. It doesn't matter if I haven't seen them for 10. There's some people I haven't. Yo, peace to Shinwa, peace to my man Randy, a.k.a. Manchild, and peace to my man Jay Broadway. You know, peace to my. Like, I got so many people. I got, like, oh my God. My man Steve, Verbal Chemist. Like, there's some people I haven't seen, but man, I'm gonna tell you, like, the second we see each other again, it's gonna be like we never left. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I can talk to them about anything and be 100% honest with them. You know, my man Bill, you know, I can be 100% honest with him. There are certain people I can just be. Courtney, you know, the list goes on with everyone. So it's like they know that they are in my hearts, and that's how I can always be 100% honest. The people, like, when I started dating you, there were people who bounced out of my life. They were friends, you know, like, oh, you know, I'm friends with them. And as soon as I became, you know, in a relationship with Drea, and they bounced. Like, they took off. Never to be seen again. One even just became damn near an enemy for no reason at all. Met Drea the whole 9 yards, didn't feel like she was like, oh, you know, then I started just acting like that. Like, why? Why the hatred for her? Why the hatred for me? If we were going to be friends for 4 years, this is how you're going to treat me? Like, come on. You know, it wasn't supposed to be anything else. And you're going to act like that? Ah, God. Anyway, that's annoying, too. Some of the results that people had for this question is kind of cool, too. There's someone who said, as far as friends go, she's brutally honest and sometimes zero fact, but that's what her friends get. Don't ask her opinion if you don't want 100% honesty from those she considers family. And that's what she's saying. Family is family. And what's cool about that is family is who you consider family.
Right.
It doesn't have to be blood, because there's blood in your family that's just rotten. And like she also said up there, she said, cut the cancer out. Family is ride or die. And, you know, I definitely agree with you there.
But it sounds like there's this consistency in your relation, in how you then relate to people, and some of the people that responded to us, that it sounds like they make it clear on what they want out of a friendship. What do you want? How do you want to communicate with me? So having that established in the beginning of the relationship, like no matter what it is, friendship, man, girl, man, girl, whatever it is, it's what do you set up so that in the beginning, you know what the expectations are. So that, yeah, if you establish that this is going to be a friendship where I just want it to be superficial and that, you know, we don't really talk about serious subjects, or yes, I want you to be a friend in my life and I want you to, and we're going to matter and we're going to talk about some stuff and I want you to be honest with me.
I mean, yeah, it can work like that.
Please
all right, now, we're going to get onto the good stuff right after this commercial. Once again, make sure you listen to the Zod and Drea podcast by subscribing to one of the following podcast methods: iTunes, Google Play, or YouTube. Visit our website at www.zodanddrea.com to go directly to the links, or if you choose, you can listen to each podcast episode directly on the website under their individual posts.
Want to get involved and have your voice heard on the next podcast? Then be sure to tune in to the question of the week on our website, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram page. And dial in and leave a message on our voicemail at 323-963-4221.
If you're an advertiser who would like to have your 30-second or 1-minute placement on our podcast or YouTube episode, please contact us at info@zodanddrea.com and we'll send you a price list. Space is limited for each episode.
The next podcast might even have you as a featured guest.
Tune in, check us out, and get involved. All right, and we're back. What's up, babe?
What's going
What's up?
on?
Let's see. Yo, we got another good one, of course, and we got a great guest. I mean, this just keeps getting better, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Like, we got a girl. Who we got?
We got our girl, Zully.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Zully
Zully's
is
in the
here.
house.
Son of
Hey,
a
y'all.
bitch. Woo! What's up, cowgirl? Oh, man. And here's what's cool. Zully's going to help us with this topic of the week, which is, what is a reasonable time to get married after first dating? Like, think about that. It's like, you know, people, we got a lot of people that we know who have either just had these shotgun weddings or, you know, got married real quick, or even some people who took a lot of time just to, you know, learn about the person and, you know, sometimes do it. I knew someone who actually took 20 years to finally get married.
I was about to say, when you say just some time, I know people that took like 15 years.
Like a long time.
Exactly.
And then divorced after like 3 months. I'm like, what the fuck was that? I'm like,
And then they realize, I really don't like you very much.
Shit, we were better as friends. But, this is going to be the topic now, and let's see, what we can get out of this conversation. I mean, Zully, what are your thoughts about, a reasonable time? So think about that. You're dating someone, boom, brand new. It's like, what's a good time for you to give your heart to him for eternal and everlasting?
That's deep. So like we're gonna die together? That's what you're...
Till death do you part.
Ooh, as a woman in my 40s, late 40s, I think there isn't a time. There is no time frame. You gotta go with the feeling. You gotta go with how you're feeling, who this person is, what you're going with. You gotta just hold his hand and jump in. That legit, like that's what you got to do. So that's my point of view from my perspective.
So that's it. So as a woman, older, not even older, but in her mid.
Easy.
Shut up. In her mid 40s, you got that midlife joint going on. So you,
you did no. I don't think it's got anything to do with midlife.
I'm just saying. I'm only a couple years off from you.
No, here's the thing.
No. Think about it this way.
Someone who knows themselves, regardless of their age, knows what they want. And you meet this person, I mean, come on.
This is what I was going to ask you.
We can all sniff out bullshit at the hello.
This is what I was going to ask you, because when I say mid-40s and, your midlife, and it's not about a crisis, but if you were in your 20s, where was your mindset then if you were even thinking about marriage? I mean, we're talking
I was married in my 20s.
And what happened?
I'm single, and I've been single as fuck for a really long time. Well, I didn't know myself.
Right.
I went to college, graduated from college, and got married. That's what you did. That's what society dictated. And so I think at this point in my life, I don't view it as what society wants or what anyone wants or what does family think is right or what does family think is wrong or what my kids are going to say or what folks are not going to say. It's about what I'm feeling and what this person brings out in me. And like I said, you sniff out bullshit at the hello if you want to. Move on. Look for that thing that you just know that's your person.
Could you say if you had those tools to sniff out bullshit in your 20s?
I would have not gotten married.
Yeah.
See, that's what my point was. We're different from where we were then, where we are now.
Of course.
So it's like, I mean, I can sort of wrap my head around marriage now at this point, whereas in my 20s, forget it. That thing wasn't happening. Like, what? A ceremony, a ring, a priest, or whoever, reverend up in the front, mom and dad? I'm like, what are you?
A dress?
Like, what are you doing here? Like, why am I here?
But you get presents.
Yeah, but it's gonna get old after 20 years.
Well, and how many couples do we know that got married in their 20s that are still happily engaged in their marriage? Not just married.
Yeah.
But engaged in their marriage and courting each other and still loving each other and still having great sex and still really being a true couple.
That's a good
How
question.
many people do we know?
See, I don't know. It would be a handful. It's a handful. I know a handful of people who did that. I know a brother, man, he got married in college. In college, while we were in college, and he is still married to his wife. Happily, got kids, the whole 9 yards, start taking up. I mean, peace to them.
Right, and it's rare.
It's very rare.
You mentioned one brother.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But that's way back then. Like, he's going to be one of the ones that has a 70-year marriage. You know, the things that you don't. Me, I'm gonna probably, babe, we're gonna probably have like 6 years. It'll be all good.
But look at you two.
Yeah.
Okay, who knew? I threw something out to my girl and said, "What are you waiting for? You love this man. Y'all click. Like, you see it, you feel it, you exude it. What are you waiting for? Take a step. What's the calendar have to do with your happiness?"
But then it's also, what does marriage have to do with your happiness?
That's a really good point, Brent.
It's like, I mean, to me, marriage is way more about what's in your heart and connection to that person than it is having to, file some papers and sign a document and make sure that God saw it and, mom can now sleep and, all that's all good. But
well, and now as an adult woman who I was married in my 20s as well, only lasted 7 years. But now I know I fell for that fantasy of what a marriage is, quote unquote, supposed to be. The Disney fairy tale crap, the Jared commercials, the stuff that's ingrained in you as a little girl, that this is what marriage is. You know, you live happily ever after. And when real world issues come up, and the reality is you are with another human being, that if you two aren't friends, don't establish how to communicate and how to live in the world and coexist together, it is so tough.
Well, and also, at that point, were you able to identify the signs, those red flags that you ignore sometimes, and it comes down crashing on you?
Not at all.
I don't ignore them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I say the time frame, if you're open, if you're aware, if you're looking, and if you're telling the universe, I am open and I am ready, then you should be looking at it with eyes that are alert and eyes that will pick up on things that you know aren't fit for you. And with that, you should know, can I coexist with this human being? I mean, I'm not saying that I meet someone and the first thing I'm thinking about is, you know, after the first date, I drive off or get dropped off, whatever. And I'm not thinking like, oh man, are we going to get married? I'm thinking, can I coexist with this human being?
But then even then, you have to make sure you know who you are.
Right.
You know, you have to be prepared. It's like, I mean, when I asked the universe, you know, like I had to throw, you know, chicks away.
Right.
Like it had to end. It had to end.
Yeah.
This was for me. I don't know what it was, but something it was like an epiphany that came over me where I had to just toss this away, and I had to be alone. And I liked being alone. The last time that even happened was when I lived in New York, and we're talking like 2004, where I mean, I was like, I didn't mess with anyone for a year and a half. Celibate, I was just about me. I didn't want to deal with anyone. And that's in New York. So, you know, I had to have been going through something. But, you know, the same thing happened, recently, this time last year, where I had to be free of whoever that person was. And I had to open myself up. And then that's where Drea came in, you know.
But at least you recognized and were open to the fact of being alone. Many people, men and women, can't even imagine being alone, can't even imagine going through the week without somebody, you know, hitting them up for something.
Or they feel less than if their calendar isn't full with a bunch of bullshit dates that will lead to nothing. It's just a meal, or it's just, I can say I went out. I would prefer that time to just work on me, to just be still, to just enjoy the things that I do. Whether it's being in bed watching TV at 6 o'clock, I treasure that.
Right.
And there's going to be a time where I'm not going to be in that bed alone. But you know what? The thing is, I don't go into it focused on when will this person occupy the bed with me. What I think of is, can I coexist in the world? Does this person may not share my point of view, but where does this man's point of view come from? If it's based on experience, lived experience, I don't care if he doesn't believe in everything I do, because it's impossible.
It is, but it's like, it's funny because that's just a little short step. Like, can I deal with that? Can I deal with that person just in my bed at that point? But we're talking about marriage. So we're talking about, can I deal with that person in my bed every day for years, for at least as many years as I can see in the future. So it gets even deeper. But
do you think marriage? Define marriage, though.
Well, no, we're talking about after you have committed. You have, my
ring on the finger ceremony?
Yeah, we're talking about ceremony. So when the difference between that is now you have witnesses. You know, I can date somebody. I can date Dre, and people not know that I'm even dating anybody. Really, I can just get off Facebook.
Y'all got that down real quick.
You know?
Everybody knew.
Yeah, everybody pretty much knew. But it's like marriage. You know, if I post that we got married or something, they're gonna know what that is. So at that point, there's a commitment not just to her, but to everybody around us. Like, everybody knows they're gonna focus. They're gonna focus a lot more.
And that's the thing, is that a marriage is really that proclamation to the world, to everyone around you, that this is a commitment. This is to family and friends, because I view it as you're taking them with you. We're taking them on the journey together. I'm a woman in my late 40s. I've been married, empty nester.
So do you think if I have a commitment ceremony with a man, is that less than a marriage?
No, it's not. I think it's the
I don't
same.
think so.
I think it's similar because you have witnesses and it's a commit. Like I said, marriage is in the heart, personally. I don't think, there are people who have been married in Las Vegas. You remember Britney Spears, she went in the drive-through marriage, got married to the dude. Like, was that really a marriage? Yeah, technically it was, but in her heart it wasn't. So, there weren't really any witnesses. There wasn't, there was nothing really, no fanfare. It wasn't really announced that much. So where was her heart? Where was his heart?
Did they get caught up in the moment?
Was it lust or love?
Exactly.
More than likely it was
Big
lust.
question that most people don't ask themselves. Am I in lust with this person and in a fantasy of what that person could be and bring to me?
Right.
Could be.
Right.
Or not looking at this is what this human being is right now.
Right now.
Who they are in front of me.
But
Everything.
then does that also that's for the short. The short. We're talking about the shorts. But then what about the longs?
Right.
What about the ones that take 10, 15 years to get married?
When
Some
they
of them
lose their
7.
hair. What about
all of
you
that.
still gonna like that
and
person?
then you still gonna like are you really into, we can talk about May, December, we were talking yesterday, May, December weddings, where somebody is, that can be a whole other topic where somebody's older than the other person by like 10
Ouch.
years. And then it's like, how long do you wait then to put that ring on the finger? And then how
Right.
long does that last?
Okay, so here's another question for you two. What do you feel about someone that commits to living with someone else for many, many years as if they are married, but just don't choose to actually have a ceremony? Is their commitment less valid than someone who decided to say words in front of their family and everyone else? So is that commitment
Right.
any less?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think
And
so.
the reason being is because those witnesses have been around for those 10 years.
Right,
They have been
right.
around.
That's a really good point. Yeah,
They've
they've
seen the growth.
they've
Yes.
witnessed the life.
The
Yes.
only thing that I would ask is, what is it that they're looking to support each other with down the road? We know that with many couples, same-sex couples, the legality of marriage is important, so they could have certain benefits. They can have certain rights when they're in the hospital. Those certain things that if you want to see about creating that as part of your commitment is that legality of marriage in the United States, then I'm all for that. But again, it's up to what it is that you are building with that person.
And I think going back to Brent's initial point is,
Sorry.
that you are my homie. I'd say that, what leaving space open and being able to say, to tell yourself and be honest with yourself and said, I've been quiet and listened to my own thoughts, and I know what I'm about, and I know what kind of partner I can be to someone.
See, and that's it. You know who you are.
I
You
was
know
not a
what you
good
can do.
partner 5 years ago,
Are
2
you
years
a
ago,
good-
10.
Then do you feel you're a good partner now?
Absolutely.
Absolutely?
Absolutely.
Open to everything?
Open to everything.
Okay.
I can say that for the first time in my life at 46 years old. I'm open and I'm
Okay.
ready.
That's really
See?
cool.
And that's good. That's good.
You hear that, universe?
You hear that?
Applications submitted to.
Go on.
Well, we actually got a lot of responses.
We got a lot of responses on Facebook and Instagram.
And one from Kathy is, when you're older, she stated,
I was literally going to say this, but go ahead.
had more experiences, you can more readily determine whether you might want to be with someone for the rest of your life.
I was literally going to pick that one.
That is so funny. And just some other things. That said, we waited for her and her husband waited for graduation, then jobs, then grad school for each other. So again, she took that time together, and they're still very successful in their marriage. So thank you, Kathy, for that.
Yeah. So, let's just thank Zully for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And we got to make sure that you come back, all right?
Absolutely.
All right, no doubt. Zod and Drea out.
Bye.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah. Peace
That
to
was great.
Zully. Peace to Zully.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for coming through and blessing us with our Zod and Drea podcast this episode. So we really respect it, and we got to make sure you're on because, we really love that. So we got to bring it back.
Definitely. And just want to, again, bring it out to the audience. You can be part of this as well. If you just post on all of our different media outlets and just post if you want to come in and be part of our session. You can be here to be interviewed. We can talk. We can chat. I mean, this is great. And again, we just want to bring it out to everybody that listens, and make sure to share this podcast too.
Yeah, make sure you share the podcast, because we don't want people out there saying, oh my God, we only have 3 people who are listening to us. So make sure that you tune in. Looks like we had a little mishap. But yeah.
Equipment malfunction.
Oh, shit. Anyway, we'll see you on the next time.
Bye.
Bye.